Welcome to Chromatic Roses, a podcast where a couple of Midwest women cultivate a community at the D&D table. I'm Soren.
And I'm Caitie. And this week in the Rosegarden, we are back with your favorite segment, probably, which is D&D Am I the Asshole? We are perusing the Reddit thread. We have not perused it. We're about to peruse it.
Actively perusing.
And giving you the original poster, who's definitely listening to this for sure, our ruling on whether or not you're the asshole or not.
We should really go into some of the other posts that we've done and like comment with a timestamp of our episode that like responds to them.
Like not even the ruling, just like watch this.
Hey, this is for you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we've got we're kind of limiting ourselves to more recent posts just because this is not like a super popular thread. It's not like it's constantly getting new stuff. So we've got like 7 or 8 that we're looking to maybe talk about today. We'll see how many we get through. We literally just talked about this off screen, but we have not vetted any of these because we want to get our knee-jerk reaction to what we're reading. So
we'll see how this goes.
if we liked it enough to like talk about it, it'll make it into the edit. And if we didn't like it, then you won't see it. You won't see it.
You're not going to hear it.
So we're going to jump right into it. This first one is, am I the asshole for asking my players above table if they're okay? So the one good thing to know, you can see on Soren's screen, there are no comments to this. So we really get to just while out and give our opinion with no input. So I run D&D sessions every Monday for a group of 5 friends. One of my friends had to miss session because they felt sick. So that day we had 4. The players I had issues with are Laura and Sam. They are an engaged couple. Really just calling them out.
Just using their names, huh? Well, we
Christian
don't know.
names, Christian government names. So I start running and we play for about 2 hours or so. I notice Laura and Sam aren't acting like themselves. Laura mentioned she had a rough day but insisted on playing. Throughout the whole session, they're dead silent, constantly on mute, typing their responses in character. And the rare occasions they do speak on, I'm guessing that's voice channel, they sound uninterested and tired. The other 2 players are doing all the work, and they're the only ones really bothering to roleplay. I should mention the other 2 players are new to the game, while Laura and Sam are very experienced. Laura and Sam are usually very chatty, both as people and as players. It struck me as odd. Around after 2 hours of this, I decided to bite the bullet and just ask above table if they're okay because I'm worried about them. Then they then said they were eating. Sam said he got 2 hours of sleep, and Laura said she was letting the other 2 players shine as the current story involved backstory stuff for another player. I then said it's a collaborative game and that even if the story is focused on one player, the other players are encouraged to speak and interact. I was honestly just worried about them, but Sam typed, "Sorry for killing the vibe," and then left, while Laura said I made it awkward. She then said I should have private messaged, but I was honestly very concerned about them and wanted the situation dealt with. I messaged each member of the group apologizing, but looking back on it, I'm not really sure. Am I the asshole for bringing that up during the game? I have an opinion, but if you have one, I'll let you go first.
I guess I just want to make the normal disclaimer that we normally do, which is there's always going to be context that we probably don't have.
Sure.
But my initial thought is, no, I don't think you're the asshole for asking if your party members are okay in the middle of a game. There's always going to be, it depends on the player. There's always going to be that person that's like, wow, I can't believe you called me out, when you're in a big voice chat with a bunch of people. So I think it's fair that they said, why didn't you message us privately? But on principle, no, you're not an asshole for asking. What's your opinion?
I mean, I think asshole is a strong word. I don't think you're the asshole. No.
Yeah.
The thing I find interesting is it wasn't just asking them if it was okay, if they were okay. They then followed that up with, this is a collaborative game. And so you didn't just check in on them. You said, you're not playing the game the way I want you to play it.
Sure.
So pipe the fuck up.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
in nicer words. I'm being a little bit more exaggerated.
Reductive, yeah.
I mean, because clearly the way Sam took that was sorry for killing the vibe and then left. So you called him out on killing your vibe, and he said, okay, I guess I'll leave. Now, I mean, I get the fact that these people were clearly like acting unusually
right
to what is normal.
Yeah.
But like Laura had already told you that she had a rough day.
Yep.
And then once you called them out, Sam clarified that he had gotten 2 hours of sleep. But then apparently we proceeded to say, okay, well, this is a collaborative game. So even when it's focused on another player, like other players are encouraged to speak and interact, is a very passive aggressive way of saying, you didn't play the game how I wanted you to play it.
Yep.
So I don't think you're the asshole. I don't think you're and also like the fact that you keep bringing up that I'm just worried about them. I'm just worried about them. Like to me, that is covering the way you went about it with this like performatively empathetic intention, which maybe is in fact your intention.
Right.
But the way that you did it was not, hey, I'm so worried about you. This is not at all how you normally act. I think Laura has a point for saying, like, you made this incredibly awkward. And if you really cared about us at that point, like, it would make more sense to shoot us a DM saying, hey, like in mid-game, not waiting until the end. You say you normally play for 2 hours. You waited until the 2-hour mark to say something. I would privately message one of them, whoever maybe I was closest with.
Sure.
I would message one of them privately and say, hey, you both seem really quiet today. Is there something I can do to make this better? Or like, hey, I'm just like checking in. You're acting really unusually. Is everything okay with you guys? And not bringing the game into it really at all about how they should or should not, or are encouraged or not encouraged to play the game.
Yeah, there's a heavy chance it might have nothing to do with the game.
Right.
And what is it that Laura said she was letting the other players shine? That also could have been, like, we don't know these people, but like that could have been Laura trying to give you an out to like leave her alone, essentially. Like, hey, I'm just gonna let other people shine today, but like I'm here. And like if I don't know, we talk about this like in our player archetype episodes whenever we talk about this stuff. Like I don't think any D&D player is going to be the exact same D&D player every single session. Like life gets in the way, man. So like part of my thought is this might come from more of like I think it's kind of similar with like a teacher mindset. So I'm sure Caitie can she's already kind of spoken to this, but like you take an assessment of what you can, carry on with the game as much as you can, and then find time, away from the group, like a private DM or like a text message or something, to then do a check-in on your friends.
Right.
It's great and good that you're worried about them and that you care about them. That's awesome. But don't use that as an excuse to remind them that this is a collaborative game when you just said that they're experienced players, but they were acting off.
Right.
But they also just gave you a lot of evidence as to why they might be acting off.
Right.
So like it seems like you didn't read the room, or like you didn't pay attention to what your friends were actually kind of clearly communicating with you without spelling it out.
Right. We've talked about this before and I can't remember what episode it was, but like if you're not feeling up to the game or something, like I think Soren, you said, like, if I'm really not feeling up to the game, like I might pull Sam aside at the beginning and say like, hey, this is the context for why I'm not feeling great. I am much less likely to do that. Like I in as far as like emotions go, am far less likely to like anticipatorily provide context for my emotions.
Yeah.
And I I mean, this isn't a therapy session. I don't know necessarily why that is, but I could see me trying to like be a lurker for a game and
Yeah.
just like kind of hang out in the background. Let's pretend like after my hellish week last week, I sat down for a D&D session and I'm feeling like socially, emotionally, physically drained, but I'm here. And I'm trying to be just like quiet in the background. And maybe that's really like Sam or even just like one of my other players picks up on the fact that that's like really out of character for me.
Yeah.
If in the middle of the session, Grant were to say, Caitie, what's up?
Are you okay?
It would make me feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I would immediately retreat. I would probably get a little defensive and be like, I'm fine. I'm here. I just am not feeling great. But like, that's kind of none of your business. And I didn't want to offer that. But now I have to offer it because you're putting me on the spot. Whereas if on a break, Grant, same person, came up to me quietly and said like, hey, I noticed you're kind of quiet today. Is everything okay? I still might, just because of the nature of who I am, might be like, yeah, I'm fine. And like be a little short about it. But it would be easier in that scenario for me to say like, yeah, I'm just like really fucking tired because of
this week, man. It's just railing me,
Right. So like putting them on the spot in front of everyone is opening the door for much more defensiveness than if you were to quietly ask them on the side. And one makes it seem like you're doing it out of service for yourself. Their change in behavior is making you uncomfortable. And so you are trying to fix the situation for yourself under the guise of caring about your friends. Whereas talking to them privately makes it seem much more like, oh, no, I'm just concerned about you. And so I'm asking as a friend if you're okay. Yeah. Regardless of my feelings.
There are very few, though they exist, there are very few scenarios where calling someone out in front of a lot of people is a good move.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are scenarios where that is called for, but I don't know that like an online D&D campaign, like especially with the context you've given us, I don't know that you needed to do it this way.
And if it was really like game breaking, if it was making it hard to play, I just would have done this DM thing sooner. Like in the like middle of the game, say like, hey, is everything okay? And when they give you some explanation, say like, okay, I'm glad you're fine. I'm sorry your week is hard. It is kind of hard to run this game of 4 people when 2 of them are kind of checked out. So do you think we should probably just call it for today?
Yeah. It's always, yeah.
Like you could still like solve that problem of it being like hard to play the game you're trying to play when they're so checked out.
Yeah.
But still do it like politely. And then I would expect you, if you were to ask them and they say, yeah, I honest to God would like to be done. I'm just not doing great and I'd like to go to bed or like whatever. Then I would expect you to end the game discreetly and not put them on blast for wanting to end the game. Yeah. So not saying like Laura and Sam are so fucking tired, so I guess we're gonna end it here.
We're gonna end it.
But like coming up with some excuse that like, oh hey, I got a text from bleh, and I gotta go, or like that's actually all I have for today. So I think we're just gonna wrap it up a little early, and let them quietly float into the night, Anyway, that was a good first one.
That was a good first one.
Little low ball.
Okay, next.
Okay, the next one is, am I the asshole for stopping a party member from killing non-hostile goblins?
Oh, man.
That's a little longer. And we got a couple comments, so maybe this one's a good one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, I'm just confused a tiny bit. It's a great start. Today is session 1 of a new group I'm playing with. We've all had a session 0 last week and have talked in total for about 2 weeks. During session 0, we talked about PvP. We all agreed as long as it makes sense, doesn't come out of nowhere, and isn't some BS backstab yada yada.
Not how you spell yada yada, but okay.
We all talked about player versus player. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. I was like, what do you mean? Cool. So We all talked during session 0, player versus player. Yeah, you can fight each other as long as it's not some like BS backstabbing. Sure, hit each other.
Yeah.
Fast forward to session 1. After
Okay.
a few hours of roleplay, our player characters are all hired to go find some person. During the cart ride, we all get to know one another and figure out where our skills are in terms of the team. Some of this wording is fun.
Yeah,
As well as our values and like random capitalization. Sorry, y'all, that's driving me nuts. Why is this happening?
Our D&D Am I the Assholes are actually just like, let us
ripping people
rip
grammatically.
People for grammar and spelling.
Okay. During the cart ride, we all get to know one another and figure out where our skills are in terms of the team, as well as our values fall in terms of life and morality. Well as where our values fall with life and morality.
Yeah.
Everything was going well, as my character was vague about her skills, but with a 20 charisma, she stated she's a negotiator of sorts.
Sure.
So she was trying to charm them. She stated she's a negotiator of sorts. This came in handy when our cart was surrounded by a pack of goblins. Being the negotiator and not having any weapons, I hopped out to talk to the captain of the goblin pack in hopes to talk our way out of them robbing us, or worst case,
fighting or killing each other. She's where commas should be, she's putting periods.
Yeah, okay, moving on. I charm the captain and find out that these goblins aren't hostile by nature and are being forced to rob folks on the road. If they don't, their tribe will be killed by their hooded exploiters. Capital H, hooded.
I mean, capital C, charm, capital C, captain.
Capital G, goblin.
Folks, like...
Okay, after convincing the goblins to leave, an arrow flies by, nearly hitting my PC and the captain of the goblins. Okay. Seems the hooded figures were waiting nearby. As they ambushed us, my PC, as well as our fighter, rogue, and sorcerer, all got ready to protect the goblins.
Got it.
The goblins started to run away, and we launched the counterattack. However... at the hooded exploiters, I'm guessing.
Yes.
However, our sorcerer used their reaction to opportunity attack a running goblin. Sure. Myself and the other 2 players out of character were above table were taken aback by their attack and questioned it. However, they rolled low and missed, so we kind of shrugged it off. Yeah. We got a few turns going as we attack the hooded ambushers, and then they attack us. The sorcerer's turn is up. He ran past a clear hooded figure, and used an AoE spell against the remaining 3 goblins still on the map. At this point, we are all confused as to why he's going out of his way to attack the non-hostile goblins.
Yeah.
Mind you, we aren't playing EXP here.
Right.
They state that their character kills goblins and kobolds just because they are goblins and kobolds, racist, with no real reason behind it other than they are bugs to them.
It's what my character would do.
Isn't that fun? I then, on my next turn, use hold person on the sorcerer to stop him from killing any more goblins. No damage or hostile intent other than to stop him from killing innocents. They got upset and threatened, if you do this, I will attack you.
Out of character.
I followed up with, if that's what you have to do. Oh my god. We're already getting like, dude, it's session 1. We pause combat for a moment and bring this up. They claim it's PvP and that they won't stand any form of PvP. Despite, I guess, what we talked about in session 0. Then they just up and leave and state, yeah, no, if you're allowing this PvP, I'm out. Then wished us a good game, at least, and then left the server. TLDR, player goes out of their way to kill non-hostile creatures, then leaves the game after fellow party members attempt to stop them.
Nice.
Am I the asshole?
No. Definitively no.
No.
If you set it up, I mean, session 0, you set up PvP's chill as long as it's not out of the blue. And then it's like, okay, so this person is trying to kill goblins because goblins, so weak reasoning there to begin with. Yep. And then you like are talking about it, obviously confused by it, So I can't say that this is coming out of nowhere. Then you use a non-damaging spell to stop the player, which there are some that would definitely argue that things like hold person is still like PvP.
And like in a way
that's fine.
It is, but it's again like not damage.
You're not causing damage. You're just stopping them. You're taking their agency away.
Correct.
And then the player like rage quits because you're not letting him do the thing he wants to do. I mean, no, you're not. And you're not an asshole. The comments say that one says, I don't play D&D as I can't find a group, but like as an outside perspective, this person is just a dick. Also, I don't kill bugs because they're like bugs. Makes no sense, and it seems like he's only playing his game and not a group game. Like role-playing is fine, but why can't your party roleplay stopping you or you being cruel? Just my thoughts. The other person says, not the asshole. The trash brought himself out. Good riddance. So glad we're all in agreement there.
I think it's fairly straightforward. Like if y'all in session 0 talked about a certain level of PvP, is like, I guess the thing is like we do not have specifics.
Yeah.
Like past what you've given us. As long as it makes sense, what does that mean to every player?
Yeah.
It doesn't come out of nowhere. What does that mean to every player? And isn't some BS backstab. It sounds like this guy needed explicit, this is okay, this is not okay.
And maybe also, a trip to therapy.
And maybe a trip to therapy. Like, I cannot imagine, I don't know, man, like we're playing a silly imaginary game and maybe your character's acting in character, but so is mine.
Right.
And like...
Yeah, this is the whole thing is pretty...
There's no need to kill these random goblins. So like, okay, you're going to kill them because you feel like it. Well, I'm going to stop you because I feel like it.
Right. Yeah. Wild. No, you're not the asshole. Do you want to do one more and then we can roll with it?
Yeah. We'll see if,
That one was
next one's going to be so freaking long.
This one's pretty long. This one's having problems with the DM. Am I the asshole? We start this out with a thing in parentheses that says, really hoping he doesn't find this. We'll be keeping names private. If you do find this, sorry you found out this way. So everybody put your seatbelts on because here we go.
Click.
The TLDR is, don't like how the DM has been running things, thinking about leaving, would like others' thoughts. Okay. Barely a TLDR, but okay. So I'm not sure if this is an am I the asshole, but I guess I just need advice on how to proceed from an outside perspective.
Sure.
I've been playing a long-running weekly campaign for 2 years now. It's the longest game I've been a part of, and despite all of my grievances, I still do love playing, and I really do like the party I'm with. We have a group of 7, and our party has really great chemistry with each other.
For the most part.
For the most part, thanks so much. But lately, I've been feeling a bit miffed by the sessions we've been playing and the way the DM has been handling things. I'm not really the only in the party that feels this way either. Basically, I feel it boils down to poor management, both of time and players, but it's a bit more multifaceted as a problem. Let me give you a few examples. Favoritisms to players in role-playing. So the overwhelming majority of our game has been role-playing, which I really don't mind at the end of the day. But like I said, it's usually pretty fun and we all have decent chemistry. But the bard in our group, someone the DM knows personally, he indulges him more than anyone else in our party. There will be times where the DM will let this man go off on like a 30-minute tangent on the nuisances of dragon sex, or argue with him on the small minutia of a rules interpretation, but will cut the other players off early or turn their roleplay moments against them. In our most recent 3-hour session, we spent the entire time deciding what our downtime would be in between plot points.
Holy crap.
And we didn't get to everyone, myself included, because the player wanted to spend 45 minutes arguing about the price of ore and how much armor and weapons he could make. He's playing a blacksmith character right now for a mini arc we're starting. When I literally was able to Google all the answers he needed in seconds. But our wildfire druid has not been able to use their wildfire spirit at all without inadvertently killing people or destroying property. And he said in the past that it's because he doesn't like that subclass. Our druid has expressed that she doesn't want to use her spirit like that, and it's gotten to the point where she feels so discouraged to use it that she wants to change subclasses entirely. It's extremely frustrating because the bard isn't a bad guy all the time. He's really good at role playing, he's fun to bounce off of, and is obviously not trying to do anything to make anyone upset or have a bad time. He's having fun with the game he's playing, nothing wrong with that, but he certainly has his moments. Then, on top of it all, he can be so distracted in session. If it's not his turn, there's a real chance he'll fall asleep mid session and not wake up for an hour. And then we got to catch him up. And it just slows everything down so much. He says he works overnights, which I sympathize with, as I do as well. I'm sure as shit not the note taker of the group, nor am I the most attentive at all times, but I at least know what's going on at any one given time. We barely ever have combat. This one is kind of weird because when we started this campaign, the DM told us straight up that he doesn't like combat in 5e. But he did promise us that it would still be a regular occurrence, just heavier into RP. Which, if that was that, I wouldn't have an issue, nor do I think anyone else would either. I'm writing this as of April 2025. The last time we had combat, it was January of this year. We were level 7 characters at the time. Remember, 7 players, by the way. The combat consisted of 3 enemies, 1 caster, 2 melee tanks, and a wild magic layer action. 1 player got down because they rolled poorly and just rushed in without thinking, but that was their fault more so than the DM's. They're so measly and usually take nothing to complete. We've been having combats like that for years. I understand it's hard to balance for higher level parties. I have DM'd before, and it can definitely be a challenge, but I'd rather see him try, overcompensate, and potentially TPK the party rather than have washes every time. And I know I'm not the only one. 6 out of 7 players in the party are primarily combat classes. They want to use their class abilities, but it's simply a muscle they don't get to flex. It also doesn't help that he really doesn't put a ton of effort into map making either. The backgrounds and textures he makes are usually really bland and bare bones, if at all. He said in the past that he struggles with Tailspire, the sim we use, but he's improved very little over the last 2 years. I have even talked about it with him in the past, and while there was improvement, it still wasn't a ton. Also, we've talked to him in the past about using other more friendly user-friendly sims, so we can have more consistent maps and whatnot, but refuses to budge on using anything but Tailspire while we're on the subject, to be honest. And then, lack the essentials. Mance has said for years now that he's been wanting to give our party lore pages on World Anvil, a world map and maps of the individual places we've been. He's promised soundtracks for combat and RP. We're still empty-handed on most of those things. He's implemented a Discord music bot to play 1 song during sessions sometimes, but has said he doesn't know how to work the bot either and has basically spent no time trying to figure out. Like, I'm not asking for a Dimension 20 experience, but if you're promising all these things, the least you can do is follow up. Some of these things are things you should have on day 1, and we've had more than 1 hiatus. And at this point, it's unacceptable, in my opinion, especially since I've neglected to mention these have been paid sessions. Put that at the beginning.
The game just changed.
Yeah. I could go on, but I feel as though my point has been made. My point is kind of that my DM's been dropping the ball on us for a while, and as I said previously, I'm not the only one who feels this way. We've already lost 1 player indefinitely. He expressed similar sentiments to the ones I listed earlier before leaving, though they said they weren't his reasons for leaving. They weren't his reasons for leaving. Now myself and 2 others are thinking of dropping the game entirely, which sucks because I really don't want anyone to go. Some of the bits we have are hilarious. I love the character I've built. The party members have also have really cool characters that I love interacting with for the most part. Despite all my gripes, I still really like the story the DM has set up so far. There's a lot that keeps me from just up and leaving. I also understand that my DM is an imperfect human. I've tried to give him as much benefit of the doubt as I can. I know some people say I've put myself in this position by waiting so long to say something and paying him for mediocre work, and they're not wrong. I just think I've reached the end of my rope with his performance thus far. Me and the other players are going to talk about our issues with the DM after our next session, so we'll see how that goes. If people like this, I'll provide the follow-up. Would love others' advice and thoughts on the situation. Am I the asshole? Rant over, go home. So here's my thing. You could just stop paying him and fire the DM and then get a different DM that maybe either takes over the story or gives you a better experience, but you keep all your fun favorite players.
That's Katie's TLDR.
Fire him. You're paying him, fire him.
I'd be interested to know. Well, yeah, you said you're paying this DM and that he is familiar with one of your players, but it doesn't sound like the rest of you are familiar with this person. So I think like a good starting place, well, maybe not a starting place, but definitely an option for you is to, like no longer ask for his services and try to find a different DM to work within the world and the group that you're working with. Gosh, first of all, like what is very clear to me, like listening to Caitie read this, but also to like look through it, you've thought about this a lot. And it's very clear that I can tell how conflicted you are. And so like on one, like a sentiment that I want to offer you is like, I'm sorry, man. 'Cause like, it sounds like it's a really hard decision for you. And that sucks.
Yeah. I think if this were just like a group of friends playing together, I think it would make it more nuanced for me.
Yeah.
But because you are paying this person and they're not learning how to use the resources you're learning or you're using, and they're promising you deliverables. I mean, we're talking about a job at this point. They're promising you deliverables that they're then not delivering. It makes it very easy to be able to say like, this is the stuff we're paying you for, and you're not giving it to us.
It becomes
so I don't think this contract is going to work anymore.
Yeah, it becomes a business problem to solve rather than a friendship one, because like I say this with as much empathy as I can, but maybe like he's not your friend. Right. Like you have hired him to do something for you. Sorry, hired them, whoever they are. Yeah. And they're not following through on that. It's very different when it's your friend who has no money in the game and you're not paying them to run a campaign. You can give people a lot of grace and benefit of the doubt when you're not paying them anything. Caitie and I talk about this all the time. Like when it comes to community theater, like when we have people who volunteer, there's only so much that you can ask of them. Right. But when you start paying them, you are able to ask of them things.
Right. And you've put up with it for a long time. Also.
It looks like it. Yeah. Jeez.
The comment, there's two comments. One is a commenter. The other person is the OP responding back.
Oh, sure.
The favoritism is definitely a problem. The rest sounds like unrealistic expectations he tries to fulfill.
Sure.
Interesting. GMing is a ton of work, and I wouldn't add creating lore pages and building my own battle maps to it. I'd recommend going for the problem with priority, which seems to be that one player gets priority over other players, and the GM's taste influences the character's abilities. At least this seems to be the most pressing matters, and everything else you mentioned, sorry to say that, completely unnecessary. If you want to keep playing with him, switch to Foundry instead of Tailspire, use maps from Patreon or free stuff from Reddit, and if you want lots of lore pages, players could start writing a journal. I frankly think this is reductive. I think you've been playing with this DM for a long time, and it's not... from what it seems like, it's not expectations that you are holding of this DM. It's stuff that he's saying he's going to do for you that he then doesn't follow through with.
Yeah.
Again, if we weren't paying this person, my opinion would be different. But if you are paying him, I don't know how much you're paying him. Yeah. But I mean, you're paying him something. And that feels like that puts more stake in the game as far as what he's promising and what you're getting. Yeah. The OP responds and just says, I appreciate the perspective. I agree the favoritism is the primary problem, and it's honestly probably going to be the first thing we tackle in our combo with the DM. Honestly, I wouldn't care about the other superfluous things like maps and even the frequency of combat if he didn't lead me on with the promise of them. He's choosing to overload himself on work he's assigned to himself. It's affecting the part of his work that actually gets him paid. I've even offered to work without pay to help him make up the work he's tried to promise us, but he shot me down on that too. It's really frustrating. Hopefully we can work something out, but I guess we'll see. Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that just like solidifies and validates, like, yeah, he's promising you stuff and then not following through on that. That's the problem. Yeah. And if he's not able to do that kind of stuff, then he shouldn't be offering it in the first place.
What it sounds like, and I see like a very, I don't know. I see a very like relatable glimmer of something that like I've had to work on personally, which is I have lots of ideas. Doesn't mean that I can execute every single idea. So while this DM might be excited to do DMing for you and get paid for it, he's got to figure out what components he can actively deliver and deliver well before you even consider adding more things onto it, ultimately.
And as somebody who has worked with like entrepreneur-y types before, you also have to be able to take criticism and learn from it. So like it's okay to feel frustrated that things aren't going the way, like I'm talking from the DM's perspective. He's promising these things, he's having a hard time getting to them. The map sim that they're using is hard to manage, and GMing is a lot of work. We've talked about that before too. Like it's just like a lot going on. However, you're being paid for a service, and those people are allowed, the people paying you are allowed to be critical of the work you are then providing. And if they come to you and say, hey, I don't really like how this is going, it is frankly unacceptable as a person getting paid as a contractor to say, too damn bad. I think you can, if that's how you feel, then the conversation isn't too damn bad. You get what you get, sit down and shut up. The conversation is, this is the stuff I do. So if you don't like the way I'm doing it, then this contract isn't going to work. Like you as a contractor are able to say like, no, I'm not taking your criticism because I think the way I'm doing it is fine. But then you have to be willing to break the contract and be done with that contract because they want it done a different way. And like, also, if you're trying to be better at the thing that you're doing, if this is, for instance, your first time doing this and you're learning how to do all these things, then it becomes absolutely crucial for you to take the things people are telling you and figure out how to incorporate them into the work that you're doing. And if somebody's offering to help you dig yourself out of a hole that you've found yourself in, put yourself in, letting go of your pride enough to say, yeah, okay, I could use some help. Thanks.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yes,
I agree.
Okay, let's roll with it.
Yeah, let's roll with it. Holy moly. Case in point, hey, person who posted, you're not the asshole. Have that hard conversation, and I hope things get better.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we're going to roll with it on the would you rather in real life table.
Okie dokie.
We got a 16.
Have we done that one?
Nope. Would you rather have to sew your own clothes or grow your own food?
I'll let you go first.
Neither.
Hey, TJ. Neither.
I guess I don't know. Here's the problem. Here's what I'm struggling with. The outdoors hates me. So there's a part of me that would say grow your own food. I'm also shit ass at taking care of plants. Sure. So I just knowing my restrictions and my skills. Yeah. I'm like, I maybe grow my own food is not it. But knowing my creative limitations, which is when the opportunities are endless, I can't make them. Sewing my own clothes also feels bad.
Here's the benefit sewing your own clothes. This is all hypothetical, right? A scenario. Patterns. So let's say you need a dress. Just literally go find a pattern that looks pretty. Try to figure out how to filter yourself down to like give you the fewest options possible. Follow the instructions. And of course, I know that means you have to like get the skill of like learning how to read a pattern and then like the basics of like seaming things together. I get that. But patterns take a lot of the guesswork like out of sewing.
Yeah. It's like the creative decision making of like what fabric I'm going to use. I mean, like all of that makes me the opportunities are too endless.
Yeah.
You know, that Correct. It makes it hard for me. Like if in it of itself, like if it was like, hey, Caitie, it's Saturday. Would you rather try to garden today or would you rather try to make a dress? My answer is make a dress. But if that was, I have to sew all of my clothes or I have to grow all of my food, the stakes are much, much higher. And that becomes, I fall into like analysis like, how do I even?
Yeah. I mean, that definitely happens to me even in the creating process. So I can take a long time on sewing projects. My answer is I would rather sew my own clothes. But I also already have like a foundation of like skill.
Yeah, I think that is also tough because I have neither of these skills. So both of these feel equally impossible to me.
But you have me and I'd be happy to teach you.
Yeah, I guess sew my own clothes, but Soren teaches me how to do it.
Easy. And here's the thing, buddy systems are great and we can help each other narrow down our options so that it's a lot less overwhelming. Because I agree. One of the things that is most difficult about sewing for me is picking fabric, is picking the right texture, is picking a pattern, pattern on fabric. Yeah. And that can keep me from working on a project. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm interrupting you because I keep doing this. This also means that I'm going to quit my job. Because when am I doing this?
Because when will I have time?
And then the other thing I thought about was in that case, I maybe grow my own food because Sam knows how to do that. So he could teach me how to do that.
It's true.
And we're married. So maybe that could just become Sam grows our own food.
I feel like you're bending the question, but yeah.
Either way, I guess I'm quitting my job because I don't know when this is going to happen.
Either way, this is the beginning of our compound.
I'm like, yeah, I get like, yeah, Soren and I can just make our own clothes together. We could spend time doing that. But then I'm like, okay, so if we're going to do that, we're going to have to set aside full days of just like sewing to make an entire wardrobe of clothes. I'm getting stuck in the logistics of this.
You are, because they're like, I will talk you through the logistics because it can be scary. It's not as scary as you think it is though. Because we can break it down into an assembly line. So like there are days that we reserve for, we're going to cut all of our fabric pieces today. And then there are days we can reserve for, we're actually going to work on sewing all of our seams today.
So if we cut our fabric on Saturday and we sew on Sunday, that's the whole weekend. So I'm still thinking we're going to have to quit our day jobs.
No, we're not doing this for 8 hours. And we don't have to make an entire wardrobe in a weekend. Like those contextual...
meantime.
Maybe we have like a due date for when we lose all of our clothing. And then we can plan it out. You literally know how to plan out projects. I don't want to hear it.
This is stressing me out. Let's leave. Back to deciding if people are assholes or not. That sent me into an existential crisis. Thanks, Teedge. All right. The next one is, am I the asshole for doing part of a PC's backstory without him?
Huh.
Yeah, and they're 16-year-olds.
Let me get back to it.
Everyone strap in for the worst grammar of your life, probably. It's probably fine.
I would say let's give him a chance, but just in case, buckle up.
I see some I see some sarcasm in here. It's also one wall of text, so the paragraph enter button is your friend. Okay. Do you want to read this one? Or do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay, read it.
So basically, I, 16 male, run a D&D campaign. It's my first time DMing in a proper campaign. I've done one-shots before, and I've been a player in many campaigns. And one of my players, let's call him Adam, 16 male,
Adam.
is our forever DM.
Okay.
So far, the grammar's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's doing well.
I wanted everyone, we have 4 players, not including me, to have fun and be true to their characters. So then Adam presents to me a min-maxed custom origin paladin with a custom background. He kills my bosses, who are usually CR 15 to 18 monsters in around 2 rounds.
Jesus.
But his backstory is the most well written. Mm-hmm. I was given his backstory months before the other players, so I've got more stuff for him in the early game, and all's been good. Until last session. He has fire giant brothers. Holy shit, first of all. He has fire giant brothers. They took him in, and they were trapped in a celestial prison, but my BBEG was also trapped in that prison. So I needed him out of there quick. We were on session. Hold on. Help me out here. Seriously, the return or the enter button.
Yeah.
Okay. All's been good until last session. Fire giant brothers trapped in a prison. BBEG also in that prison. So I needed...
It's unclear who him is.
Yep. I was like, so you needed his brothers out of there?
I'm guessing he needs the BBEG out of there because the player character is going to come get his brothers out of prison.
That makes more sense. Thank you. We were on session 10, and the party's adoptive son, a dog person barbarian, was having visions of someone he knows trapped in there. It was the BBEG playing tricks on him, but that's not the issue. The BBEG is an eldritch entity that consumes everything it touches. And after this session, they released him out of his containment. He then consumed the whole prison, etc. But that's not the end of this. Adam wasn't there this session.
Okay.
I write sessions about a week in advance, so I prefer to have warning before I write if someone won't be there for the session.
Okay.
Adam told me about a day beforehand, and I told him that we are doing stuff to do with his character this session. He said that's okay. But now he's mad, saying he might quit, so I've had to retcon that. Okay. Turns out, because the prison is between planes of existence, the eldritch entity was instantly teleported into one of the planes when he left.
Okay.
And the fire giants are still there! Exclamation point. How lucky for Adam! Exclamation point. He then blamed this on me being a first-time campaign DM, and then complained. The other players defended me, but I changed it anyway. Changed it to what? I just need to know if I'm in the wrong here or not. If anyone has questions, then I'll reply to comments.
Okay.
I'm confused.
It is so unclear what happened.
This looks like I typed everything and hit post.
Right. It's a stream of consciousness for sure.
Okay.
So he writes sessions a week in advance. Mm-hmm. He finds out the day before that Adam's not going to be there. And he's like, well, that sucks, brother, because this whole next session's like about you.
It's got you.
He's like, nah, it's okay. But then turns out it actually isn't okay because the thing you did at that session was actually something he wanted to have been a part of. But
what I don't understand. So he says, I told him we were doing stuff with his character. He said that's okay. And then immediately but now he's mad, saying he might quit. So I've had to retcon that. What? That he was involved in the last session?
I think that's the problem. I think the problem is you didn't tell us what happened.
No.
Like what happened at the session that Adam missed that he's mad about? Is it something you made his character do? Is it something the brothers did or the BBEG said, or what did you retcon?
Turns out this celestial prison is between planes of existence. The entity, I'm assuming that's the BBEG, was instantly teleported into one of the planes when he left. What do you mean? When he left?
It turns out, because the prison is between planes of existence, the Eldritch entity was instantly teleported to one of the planes when he left. So
what?
when the Eldritch entity left the prison, he was instantly teleported to one of the planes of existence on either side of the prison.
Okay.
But the fire giants are still there. How lucky for Adam. He blamed this on me. It's just really, hey, OP, 16 male, you left out some pretty crucial details.
Let's read a comment, shall we?
Yeah.
So this person, Living Care 1940, says, I'm going to say yes and no, because it seems like maybe either a misunderstanding or miscommunication between you both. Writing a session is great, but remember that you, as the DM, need to try and remain flexible in case plans change. Honestly, even with player permission, it's not in great taste to run a session that has part of their backstory involved if that player is going to be absent, even on short notice. Last-minute adjustments can be difficult, but there are a lot of ways to handle adding in some fluffy filler material until the player can rejoin. Random roll tables help a lot for that kind of thing. Okay, so before I read the next paragraph, I think that's a fair thing to say, especially to a young DM who is still figuring things out. Moving on. On the other hand, the player giving you permission and then being upset about it later isn't great either. It's possible he didn't fully understand what part of the arc was going to happen, but without every detail, it's hard to gauge what was going through his mind. Nevertheless, I can also understand being miffed at not being present for something crucial to one's own character, as it does remove a degree of player autonomy. Fair. In the future, I'd make sure you have something on hand that can allow you to make last-minute changes on the fly. Being a DM is a learning curve and not an easy undertaking, but one of the biggest things to remember is that you do not want to constantly railroad your players to fit the narrative you have in mind. That's for single person storytelling, not for collaborative gameplay.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
So number one, yes, I think it's important to stay flexible as a DM. I think we did acknowledge this commenter acknowledged that, it's also not great that he got upset after he said he wouldn't get upset. That's also true, but it does seem like there was some sort of miscommunication about what he thought was going to happen. And it's pretty wild to do a session entirely focused on an absent player. It might have made the most sense story-wise for this thing to happen next, but the minute you figured out that Adam wasn't going to be there, you either needed to cancel the session and not play that time, or play something else, or do a random encounter for that visit instead of this particular story beat.
So I guess the other portion that I'm confused about is that Adam is blaming this on this DM being a first timer. And then, so he complained, the other players defended him, but I changed it anyway. I gotta know what you changed, man.
Yeah, you just definitely did not give us enough detail. You didn't tell us what happened in that session. You didn't tell us what you retconned. You didn't tell us what he was actually mad about. You just kind of gave us the very vague details of kind of what happens.
We need more than that to understand better. But I appreciate the commenter who responded to you. I think they hit it pretty square on the head. Yeah. Being a DM is hard. Writing a session is hard. It's not great that your fellow player was kind of a booty hole. Right. But there's more that we just don't know. And the good thing is you're 16, so you've got plenty of time to practice being a DM.
Right.
That goes for anyone. You can be 50 and learn how to be a DM. I don't mean that to be exclusive to teens.
Right. Do we want to do one more?
Certainly can.
All right. Rant, perhaps. Am I the asshole? Don't know if I'm in the right place. And then it's railroading as the tag that's on it. So to begin explaining my situation, a bit of backstory is necessary. I'm a forever DM, as many of you probably are. Being a forever DM, I always jump on occasions to play the game. I mean, who doesn't, right? Now, I've always treated the system as a set of guidelines, as even the player's handbook says, and I do prefer to begin with a backstory than to check sources for any fitting material. Maybe change it a little bit to fit me. For example, if a player wants to be mechanically a fighter, but his character is a noble scion, really makes no sense for him to have fighter skill list, for example. So we add up some knowledges, nobility, maybe geography, perhaps survival, as they would go out for hunts in the wild, some diplomacy. But let's face it, Bluff, as a good diplomat, is oftentimes a good liar, and so on. So the character sheet really fits the narrative. Okay, so it sounds like we're reskinning classes to be a little bit more narratively accurate.
Yeah.
Moral of that story. So I being like this.
So I, being like this, however, didn't need.
So I be like this, like my own characters really well fleshed out. I think about who they can be, what they can be doing, why, how they are the way they are, how do they fit, because that's important.
Okay.
So a buddy of mine, also a forever DM, really wanted to run a campaign in Ravenloft. Not curse of you-know-who, but real deep dive into the world.
That's funny.
I said, sure. I love a good story. We're both dedicated role players. I was really excited to get into it. Main hook for me being that I honestly, having read tons of D&D lore books, never delved into it. So it might have been a genuine great adventure. Wanting to do it right, and I'm guilty of usually doing this, presented the DM with 5 character concepts to choose from. My God. What I basically do is create a vague idea of a character, who, why, what it would more or less do, and what their flaws and how they would overly act. DM picked one, and I have spent literal hours, finding sources to actually build the character. Of course, there was a little homebrew, as I would need to fill certain roles. Now, backstory within backstory. Oh, please. His wife was very excited to play, though having no experience. I took it upon myself to help guide her as well, knew what her and other players would be, so I knew I needed to be all in one, a bit of a rogue, frontliner, and magic expert.
Damn.
Luckily, all can be easily accomplished. Luckily, I'm the fucking king of D&D.
I'm the guy.
As character that was selected was a monster hunter. Basically, I've, shame to admit, never read the Witcher series, but from what I know, the concept would be roughly the same.
Sure.
As you might imagine, that's where those hours went, trying to make a cohesive whole out of all those pieces. Yeah. I knew my character would be a no-nonsense swordsman with regrets, trying to do right by people. Philosophically a paladin, not mechanically, with a lot of baggage and little patience, but all in all trying to protect the weak.
Yeah, it literally sounds like Geralt from The Witcher.
All of this, full build, long, 15 pages. I know, I will write that book, though DM was consulted every step of the way and wanted a detailed and complex backstory with motivations and so on. Backstory. Full build with whys and whens, all of it fleshed out, discussed, and approved. Where's the homebrew, you might ask? Well, because of the little patience my character would have, I decided he would be a pyromancer first and foremost. First spell per new spell level would be a bigger, better fireball. More damage or effect, more area, which I know is non-optimal, and I would be putting myself back a bit. But hey, as always, story over mechanics. So anyhow, the game started nicely, getting to know the world, some NPCs, first seeds of mystery, players role-playing nicely and all that. But going more and more into it as sessions progressed, I started seeing more walls. No, you can't do it, because no. For me, the culmination was where we found some caves and ogres. Now, my character's backstory literally stated he would train with ogres to get better at fighting. So I genuinely thought it would be a nice scene. What I instead got is more or less, I want to say something. DM. What? Me. I'm struggling with this first. I think, well, I want to say, and then the DM says, you say nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Because his DM PC, so his DM's player character. Yeah, of course, helped us get into the ogre compound. And then I was railroaded into 1v1 ogre boss on the arena. Having monk levels, I thought I could cheat a little in world, not in game, challenging the boss to fight like men. No weapons, no armors.
We're all men here.
Of course, the ogre had its armor fused with its flesh. Of course, it had lethal and magical unarmed strikes. Of course, after it was so fun to announce that the DMPC ogre was playing us for fools, yeah, like I couldn't see it from a mile away, we got out. I wanted to be fair. Worst day. I get it. Getting into roleplay. I wanted to use a hole in the ceiling to sneak out of the compound. No, it was a stupid idea because his wife's character just strolled out of there. There were more examples like this, but all in all, even last session, stupid crap just keeps annoying me. As I mentioned, I am ultimately a spellcasting monk. So when we were talking to an NPC that informed us important things are happening in the town square, my character promptly got up, catch up, he said, and jumped out of the window while casting, jump. My thinking was I can be there twice as fast, not needing to get to the front door, going in the straight line above the streets, stop whatever's coming. Nope. For some reason, I was there last, apparently. For some reason, I was the only one not being able to get through crowds. For some reason, whatever I said was ignored. And you know what? I think I'm done. It's not anger. It's just disillusion. I feel like it's, disfavoritism? Is that a word? You know what I mean? I spent hours of my life thinking up cool shit I do, thinking up ups and downs, playing to my strengths, role-playing my heart out, only to be punished for having a fleshed out character that doesn't ultimately fit DM's Railway Express. At this point, I will keep playing as my girlfriend enjoys it, but I'm not going to participate actively. But maybe I'm the asshole. What do you think? Perhaps you see something I don't. Perhaps I missed some details you'd like to ask. Some insight would be welcome. The only comment, it's so short, is just, I will write that book. This never gets old, LOL. Same here. I've been working on something for 1 year now. That was just like a fun story to read at this point.
Yeah, holy moly. That was just a roller coaster.
I think you put in a lot of work into this, and so like I can understand being frustrated. This sounds like a conversation with your DM. I don't know. Yeah, I also don't know. Does he say, I'm a forever DM. Being a forever DM, I always jump on occasions. A buddy of mine, also a forever DM, wanted to run a campaign. So you're friends. So yeah, I would, this seems to me like you need to pull your friend aside and say, why the hell is none of my stuff working? Why do you keep telling me no?
Yeah. And also holy crap, I don't know. I think if a DM, I don't know, that feels so odd that your character can't just say something. Right. It got shut down. I feel like if I was in that scenario where I was about to say something, we kind of narratively do dialogue. So I'm Lura looks over at so-and-so and says blah, 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 blah. But this guy just shut him down, was you say nothing.
Right. I'm Jesus. Okay. That probably, if it went down exactly as you typed it in this short story.
Yeah.
That would have made me in session turn and say what is going on?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pause on all of this. Yep. Sorry?
Yeah. That there's an instance, we talked about this earlier, that's an instance where I think it's fair as a player to say, is everything okay?
Yeah. Because he's making because at this point your DM friend is like making it a public thing, right? Where he's like, you don't say anything.
I didn't know. It seems like they had to roll to be able to say something. Is like what that looks like.
Right.
It's like, okay.
I mean, the way they phrased it, what I got is more or less, I want to say something. DM says, what? Me. Well, I want to say, you say nothing. Like that's crazy. So if that is actually the vibe in which that happened, I would have paused right there and said, okay, sorry, we just need to talk about this. Why can't I say anything? Come up with a reason?
Yeah, like, can you give me some context, please? Is there a reason I can't speak freely?
As a free action. So, like, I don't have to roll for that. I don't have to, like, be...
And so is crying, and I'm about to do it.
So, I like, any one of those situations where he's just like, nope. I would have been like, no, you have to say more than no. I need to know why that doesn't work. And if...
Yeah, that's like I don't know, just like a PSA to any, like, newer players or whatnot. Like, if your DM is just knowing back and forth at you, there's an issue.
That's not very yes and of you.
There are instances where, like, I'm sure someone in a comment section could be like, well, like, what if they're trying to murder everybody? And it's like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, if you're just trying to do a basic free action such as say words and you're just getting rejected.
Even if they were just trying to murder everybody, I would assume that the first time the DM says actually no, it wouldn't just be like, no. It would be like, hey, that's not what this game is. So if that's what you want to do, let's, like, find a different way to do that. Like, there would be a conversation about it. And also, like, I don't know. It sounds like you've put a lot of thought into all of your various stuff, and you work really hard to make these, like, really detailed, mechanically interesting characters. So this, I mean, long and short of it, to me, I think disillusionment makes a lot of sense. Maybe it is disfavoritism or whatever, like, if that's even a word.
I don't know. There's, like, some pieces I think like I would need to understand their friendship a little bit more.
I was gonna say, like, if maybe it is like he's picking on you specifically. But to me, regardless, it seems like if I were you, away from the table, I would bring up some of this stuff and just say, like, what? Can you help me understand what's going on here?
Yeah.
And maybe talk about, like, I'm feeling a little disillusioned with this whole thing because I feel like I can't do any of the stuff that I tried to, like, make. Yeah. And, like, if he is picking on you, like, you'll be able to tell pretty quick by his response if this is going to be a productive conversation. And if it's not going to be a productive conversation and your girlfriend's having fun and you have the capacity to just kind of tolerate being along for the ride, then cool. But also, like, I don't think it's impossible to explain to your girlfriend what's going on and to also then go back to the DM and say, like, listen, if this is how we're doing this, I'm out.
I need to be out.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dang.
Right. That was a good roll of ones we got this time. That's it for us this week. So thanks for spending some time with us today. Thanks to Noah Trumbull for the use of his theme song. Link to his Instagram is in the episode description. He's always doing some stuff with that band of his, and you should know about it.
If you're enjoying the show, there are a few things we'd love if you do. First, leave us a review, because reviews help other listeners and watchers find us. So hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Second, follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you can get to our new episodes easier. Lastly, go ahead, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube to see what we're up to and be the first to know when a new episode drops.
We also want to hear from you. Did you like our rulings today? Did you not? You should tell us about it. And if you don't want to do that in a public forum like the comment section, you can send us an email at chromaroses@gmail.com. That's CHROMAROSES@gmail.com. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
This has been Chromatic Roses. I'm Soren.
And I'm Caitie. Fight evil, love others.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.